at 20-degree latitude or 60-degree latitude or hot. Okay. Shape of land means our location is close to sea, or it is in a interior of the land. Okay. Where it is not along the coast, it is in the middle of any continent. Okay. The El Nino phenomena, I will discuss all these things later on. Okay. So one important note is here: 99% of the atmosphere lies within 30 kilometer of the Earth's surface. Okay, why this is, I will tell you that. And 75% of the atmosphere in troposphere, that is within 12 kilometer. So you can see within 12 kilometer, most of our atmosphere lies, and after 12 kilometer, with increasing height, our um, atmosphere gets lighter. And why this is, you all know, because of gravity. Air molecules trap air molecules try to settle on the ground because of gravity, and with increasing height, our atmosphere gets lighter. Okay. So so now come to what are the composition of atmosphere. Okay. Just a minute. Just a minute. Ah. At 4.6 Ga, our atmosphere was mainly composed by nitrogen and carbon dioxide. Okay. At that time, there was no oxygen. Okay. Now, at 2.45 Ga, oxygen first come by photosynthesizing bacteria and converts carbon dioxide to oxygen. So, due to photosynthesizing bacteria, our atmosphere gets oxygen at 2.456 Ga. Okay. Now at present day, our atmosphere is mainly composed by nitrogen and oxygen mainly. Okay. So coming to, those are the uh, permanent gases, and those are the variable gases. What are permanent gases? Permanent gases are constant gases. Those are remain constant over time and location. That is, spatially and temporarily, they are unchanged. Okay. So these are constant gases. Okay. Now this is very important. By volume, you can see nitrogen concentration is 78%, oxygen is 21%. Okay. Argon is 0.93%, then neon, then helium, then hydrogen, then xenon. Okay. This sequence is very important. It is asked in net. Okay. Now, what is variable gases? Variable gases is nothing but whose composition varies spatially as well as temporarily. Those are variable gases. Okay. Now, this is also important. Water vapor is the most abundant variable gases. Okay. And its concentration varies 0 to 4%. Then carbon dioxide, then methane, then nitrous oxide, then ozone. Okay. This sequence is also important. And then chlorofluorocarbon. Now, impact of variable gases are much higher compared to constant gases. Okay. Though their concentration is much lower than permanent gases, mainly nitrogen, oxygen, and argon. Um, but those are very important because of their greenhouse gases. These gases allow shortwave solar radiation and trap outgoing long-wave Earth's radiation. I have told you that why they can trap the outgoing long-wave radiation, that is infrared radiation, and why they allow shortwave radiation, because due to their property, carbon dioxide and H2O have absorbed have maximum absorption in infrared radiation, but they can't absorb UV rays. Okay, and we all know from sun, mainly UV rays are coming in form of shortwave radiation, and when our Earth radiate back, this wave is long wave, mainly falls in infrared radiation. Okay, we all know that, and why this is, I have discussed that in my previous lecture. Okay, now H2 is a major greenhouse gas, I have told you, because its concentration is 0 to 4%, which is maximum among variable gas. The oceans act as a huge reservoir of carbon dioxide. Why is this? I will discuss you when I will teach you oceanography. Now, just for this time being, just note that. Okay. Now, chlorofluorocarbon. When chlorofluorocarbon enters the stratosphere, UV rays break them apart. Okay, and then chlorofluorocarbon releases ozone destroying chlorine, which causes global warming. Okay, so basically chlorofluorocarbon breaks by UV rays, and its chlorine can cause destruction of ozone. Okay, and we all know our stratospheric ozone protect us from incoming UV rays. Okay, but when this chlorofluorocarbon releases chlorine and destroys this this ozone layer, then much of UV rays, much of incoming UV rays in form of shortwave radiation will reach our ground, and then more global warming will happen. Okay, that's why CFC is very dangerous. Now, ozone, it is primary ingredient of photochemical smog, which irritates the eye and throat and damage vegetation. So we all know ozone is very bad for our health. Okay, but the majority of atmospheric ozone, that is about 97%, is found in the upper atmosphere, that is in the stratosphere region. Okay, when, where it is formed naturally. As oxygen atoms combine with oxygen molecules in stratosphere, ozone forms there, and here the concentration of ozone average less than 0.002% by volume. But this this much concentration is very helpful for us, because stratospheric ozone can protect us from incoming UV rays. But we all know tropospheric ozone causes global warming by absorbing Earth's long wave infrared radiation. Okay, so this small quantity is important, however, because it shields plants, animals, and humans from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays, that is stratospheric ozone. But tropospheric ozone is harmful. So tropospheric ozone is harmful, but stratospheric ozone is gift for us. Okay. Now, I have told you that the Earth's atmosphere is relatively transparent to incoming solar radiation and opaque to outgoing radiation emitted by Earth's surface. The blocking of outgoing radiation by variable gases are known as greenhouse effect. Okay. Now, this is very important. In dry atmosphere, most abundant is nitrogen, then oxygen, then argon, then carbon dioxide, and then others. And in wet atmosphere, first nitrogen, then oxygen, then water vapor, then argon, and then carbon dioxide. This sequence is already asked in next exam. Why this is? Because you can see in dry atmosphere means water vapor concentration by volume is 0. Okay, then nitrogen first, then oxygen, then argon, then then H2, then carbon dioxide, then H2. Okay, but when in wet atmosphere, when they are asking wet atmosphere, it means water vapor content is 4% by volume. Then the sequence will be first nitrogen, then oxygen, then comes water vapor. Okay, after that argon, and then carbon dioxide. Okay, all of you got my point? Please turn on your mic and response. Why I am telling in dry atmosphere this sequence and in wet atmosphere this sequence? Hello, please turn on your mic and response.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. So now come air pressure and density. Okay, we all know density equal to mass by volume. Okay, now there are appreciably more molecules within the same size volume of air near the Earth's surface than at higher level. So due to gravity, we all know. Now air density is greater at the surface and decreases as we move up into the atmosphere. You can see from this graph, this is air pressure and this is air density. Okay, with increasing altitude, both these are decreasing. Okay, presently, the most common unit found on surface weather maps is millibar or hectopascal. At sea level, the standard value for atmospheric pressure is 1013.25 millibar or 1013.25 hectopascal. Okay, this is the standard value at sea level. At any given altitude, air density is higher than air pressure. This question is already asked. Okay, now see, at 100-kilometer altitude, you can see if I draw a straight line. Okay, if I draw a straight line, we can see at same altitude, air density is higher than air pressure. Okay, and near sea level, atmospheric pressure decreases rapidly, whereas at high levels it decreases more slowly. So you can see here at up to 100 kilometer, this gradient is more steeper, and then after 100 and 200 it becomes more gentle. So up at lower altitude, pressure and density decreases more rapidly than at higher altitude. Okay, so now near sea level, atmospheric pressure is usually close to 1000 millibar. I have told you that 1013.25 millibar it is. Okay, normally just above sea level, atmospheric pressure decreases by about 10 millibar for every 100 meter increase in elevation. Okay, this you just note down this relation. Okay, just by 100-meter altitude increase, pressure decreases by 10 meter, but it is valid in near sea level. Okay, not above 100 and 200 kilometer. Okay, if you are at mere 5.5 kilometer above the Earth's surface, air pressure will be 500 hectopascal. Why this is? Because you can see from this graph, about 5.5 kilometer altitude, we have just 50% of our atmosphere. Okay, at I have already told you at 12-kilometer altitude, our atmosphere have 75% of our atmosphere. I have told you that at troposphere, 75% of the atmosphere in troposphere, that is within 12 kilometer. Okay, so at this altitude, 75% of our atmosphere lies. Okay, so if 50% of Earth's atmosphere at 5.5 kilometer and 100% of Earth's atmosphere at sea level, so at 5.5 kilometer pressure will be just 1000 into 50%, which is 500 hectopascal. Okay, that's why at 5.5 kilometer altitude, air pressure will be 500 hectopascal. And you can see at 18-kilometer altitude, about 90% of our atmosphere lies. So you can just multiply 1000 into 90%, and you will get at this 18-kilometer altitude what will be the pressure. Okay, um, this is very important because sometimes in net exam they are giving you only pressure. I am just telling you an example. uh, just assume that tropical easterly jet streams are flowing at 12-kilometer altitude, but they are not. In June 2019, they asked a question that tropical easterly jet um, flows at what pressure. They are not tell you that what is the altitude. Okay, you read 12 kilometer altitude, but you don't know the pressure. So at that time, what you should do at that time, you all know, I have told you that 12 kilometer altitude, 75% of our Earth's atmosphere lies. So the pressure will be at 12 kilometer altitude, pressure will be 1000 into 0.75, that is 1000 into 75%. Okay, and you will get the pressure. In this way you can convert kilometer to pressure. Okay, hectopascal. Okay, now comes layers of atmosphere. Earth's atmosphere can be divided into series of layers. Okay, we can classify these layers based on three major properties, which are they: based on temperature, based on composition, and based on electrical property. Now, based on temperature, you can see our atmosphere can be divided into troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. Now, first come troposphere. Okay, it extends up to height of 12 kilometer. Now, this 12-kilometer height is average height. What I am talking about, that this 12-kilometer height is average height. Okay, at equator, thickness of troposphere is nearly 18 kilometer, and at polar latitude, that is 90-degree latitude, this thickness is around 9 kilometers. So if you average these 9 and 18 kilometer, you will get the average tropospheric height is 12 kilometer. Okay, that's why it is. And in polar latitude it varies. Sorry, in polar latitude it is around 7 to 9. Okay, it varies. Now, it is the region of steepest thermal gradient on lapse rate. What is lapse rate? Lapse rate is decrease of temperature with increasing altitude. We can see, just note down that lapse rate is what is lapse rate equal to decrease of temperature with increasing height. Okay, and this lapse rate is called positive lapse rate. Now you can see here, in this region temperature is decreasing with increasing altitude. So in troposphere region, our lapse rate is called positive lapse rate. And why I am telling that it is the region of steepest thermal gradient or lapse rate, you can see this gradient, that is at sea level, the average atmospheric temperature is nearly 18 degrees centigrade, and at 12 kilometer, just say, it is minus 60 degrees centigrade. Okay, so from 18 to minus 60, that is almost 78 degrees centigrade temperature drop within just 12 kilometer. But here you can see in mesosphere region, the temperature is also decreasing, but the rate of temperature decrease is much slower. That's why troposphere region is the region of steepest thermal gradient or lapse rate. Okay, and one important thing, when temperature, just a minute, when temperature equal to constant, lapse rate equal to 0, and when temperature increases with increasing height, that is increasing temperature with increasing height, and this is the region of stratosphere and thermosphere, then the lapse rate will be negative. Okay, then negative lapse rate. So we can say in troposphere and mesosphere we got positive lapse rate. In stratosphere and thermosphere we got negative lapse rate. And you can see, in this is the region of tropopause, this is the region of stratopause, this is the region of mesopause. This region have constant temperature, where temperature doesn't change with increasing height. This zone has lapse rate of 0. Okay. Now, all the weather phenomenon and cloud formation occurs in troposphere region. Okay. As in equatorial region, temperature is higher, it leads to vertical expansion of lower atmosphere, and that's why in equator thickness is greatest, which is 18 kilometer. 18 kilometer thickness of troposphere in equatorial region. The tropopause is zone of constant temperature, which is average 12 kilometer height. I am telling about this region where temperature is constant. Here we see convection of air. Now, due to convective air, convective heat loss, air temperature decreases with altitude. What is this? We all know that air convection happens in this region, and due to convection, here you can see at ground, at this region temperature is high. I have told you that. Now due to convection, now due to convection, heat transfers from this region to this region. Now again this region, again this colder region, air gets here, and then again due to convection it's a circulation loop, and due to this circulation loop heat loss occurs here, and that's why air temperature here decreases with altitude. Okay. And the role of greenhouse gases is major here, because carbon dioxide, H2O, mostly in this region. I have already told you, because 75% of Earth's atmosphere lies in this region, so it is the major region of greenhouse gases. Okay. Now come to stratosphere. It extends up to 50 kilometer. You can see this is the region of stratosphere. This is 50 kilometer. Lower stratosphere is the region where airplane travels. In this region, airplane travels. In this region, airplane travels. Here we can see ozone layer, which can protect incoming solar UV rays. This is a region of no clouds. There are no clouds. There is no horizontal movement of air, and here no convection occurs. I have told you that in troposphere region there is a circulation cell, and due to that our temperature decreases with altitude. But in stratosphere region there is no convection, and that's why here temperature doesn't decrease with altitude. Okay. Here temperature increases with altitude as there is no convective heat loss. Besides, temperature increase due to absorption of UV rays by stratospheric ozone. Now, I have told you that here ozone layer forms. In stratosphere region, ozone layer forms, and our incoming solar UV rays get absorbed by this layer, by stratospheric ozone layer, and due to that, due to absorption of UV rays, here temperature increases, and you can see temperature increase with altitude. Okay. Now at 50 kilometer height there is no change of temperature. It is known as stratopause region, and one important thing is here temperature is 273 Kelvin, that is 0 degrees C. You can see at stratopause region temperature is 0 degree centigrade, and this question is already asked, what is the temperature at 50 kilometer altitude. Okay, so just note down this temperature region at 12 kilometer altitude. It is minus 60 degrees centigrade. At 50 kilometer altitude it is 0 degrees centigrade. At 80 kilometer altitude, 80 to 85, that is mesopause region, the temperature is minus 80. It is the coldest region. I will tell you again, and it is coldest region, and at thermosphere and outer space the temperature is much higher. Okay, just note down these temperatures. Now in mesosphere, up to height of 80 kilometer is mesosphere. Upper part of the mesosphere is coldest. What I am talking about, that this region is coldest. Okay. Here temperature decreases with height because there is no ozone to absorb UV rays, uh, and in this region, due to presence of ozone, in temperature was increasing with altitude. But as this region has no ozone to absorb UV rays, here also temperature decreases with altitude, but the temperature gradient, that is the lapse rate, is much gentler here. But at troposphere region it is much steeper. Okay, this is the region I have told you. Troposphere is the region of steepest thermal gradient. This question is already asked. What is the region of steepest thermal gradient? The answer is troposphere. Okay. Now it is a radio wave absorbing layer. Here radio wave absorbs at height of 80 kilometer, no change of temperature, so it is mesopause region. Okay. Now thermosphere region, it extends up to 80 kilometer to outer space. Okay, it is part of heterosphere. I will tell you what is heterosphere. Low density molecules occur in this region, and temperature increases with increasing height and reaches up to 1200 degrees centigrade. You can see that temperature is increasing with altitude, and above and here temperature is at above this layer. Here not the graph is not showing the exact temperature here. This is region is extended up to that. Okay, and at the top of the thermosphere, the temperature is around 1200 degrees centigrade. This region, top of the thermosphere region, is the hottest region in the atmosphere. Okay. Now hydrogen and helium are two most dominant species in thermosphere. Okay, why this is? Because I have told you that most of the Earth's atmosphere lies in troposphere and stratosphere region, and due to gravity, the higher density molecules, that is nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, these molecules trap in these region. But hydrogen, helium, these molecules are much lighter, and for this reason, in this region and this mesosphere and thermosphere region, the concentration of hydrogen and helium much higher compared to this region. Okay, and based on this, uh, we divided based on this composition, we divided the layer into homosphere and heterosphere. So what is homosphere? Up to the bottom of thermosphere, that is 0 to 80 kilometer, nitrogen and oxygen concentration is uniform. Here we see 78% of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen. Okay, so this region, you can see in this region, troposphere, stratosphere, and in this region, up to the bottom of the mesosphere, it is homosphere. Okay, and after that it is heterosphere. What is heterosphere? From 80 kilometer to outer space, gases are not well mixed, and that's why heavier atoms and molecules, that is oxygen and nitrogen, tend to settle to the bottom of layer, while lightest gases float to the top. And that's why in this thermosphere and exosphere region, nitrogen and oxygen are trapped within 150 kilometer. Okay, but after 200 300 kilometer, you can see the concentration of hydrogen and helium much higher. That's why I have told you hydrogen and helium are most two dominant species in exosphere region. Okay, now based on electrical property, there is a region based on electrical property. You can see, sorry, you can see this is ionosphere. Ionosphere is up to the bottom of stratosphere, up to the top of stratosphere. Okay, and much of the ionosphere lies in thermosphere region. Okay, so what is thermosphere? It is not really a layer, but rather an electrified region within upper atmosphere, where fairly large concentration of ions and free electrons. Okay, free electrons exist. So in this region, large concentration of ions and free electrons exist. Bulk of the ionosphere is thermosphere. I have told you that. Now, lower part, that is D region, this ionosphere region can be divided into D, E, and F layer. Okay. Now, lower part, that is D region, that reflects standard AM radio waves back to the Earth. Now, see, this is a AM radio transmitter. AM means amplitude modification. This is a radio uh, which emits radio wave signal. Okay. Now, see, this D layer, lower part of the lower part, that is D region, reflects standard AM radio waves back to the Earth. Okay, but at night, but at at day, but at night, this D layer disappears, and only E and F layer persists. Okay, and for this reason, at night, D region gradually disappears. The AM radio waves are able to penetrate higher into the atmosphere. You can see it can penetrate higher into the atmosphere, that is E and F region. And due to that, when these waves got reflected by E and F region, it can travel much more distance than at daytime. All of you got my point. Why uh, our FM signals got much clearer at night time but not at daytime, because this D region disappears at night, and when AM radio transmitter transmits signals, it can penetrate deep into our atmosphere, and it can, when it is got reflected by E and F layer, it can travel much more distance than daytime. Okay, so that's why at night, AM radio wave can travel greater distance due to deep penetration. That is repeated reflection, obviously. Due to repeated reflection, it can travel much more distance. Okay. So, any question on that? Please turn on your mic and ask me anything. Okay. After that, I will discuss about the previous year questions. Hello. Hello. Please turn on your mic and response.
Yes, sir.
So I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Tell. Hello.
Yeah, sir,
Yeah. बोलिए.
I have a question.
Yeah.
आपने कहा कि थर्मोस्फीयर में हाइड्रोजन और हीलियम होता है, तो
Mostly.
वहां पे अगर 12 हाँ, वहां पे अगर 1200 डिग्रीज का टेम्परेचर है तो वो इग्नाइट कैसे नहीं होता?
वो इग्नाइट क्यों नहीं होता?
हाँ,
Because their air molecules are much less denser. इग्नाइट होने के लिए क्या होता है? ऑक्सीजन तो रिक्वायर्ड ही होता है. ऑक्सीजन तो नहीं है उधर. You got my point?
yes sir, yes sir, got it.
ठीक है. Any other question? Hello, someone was asking. Tell me. Any question? No question. Okay. So I am discussing the questions from let's see, June 2017 तक तो हो गया था ना? June 2017 तक. Can anybody tell me that June 2017 हो गया था or not? On this topic only, warming the earth and the basics of atmosphere, which I have told you. हो गया था? Hello. Please response, because I don't actually remember June 2017 हो गया था or not. Okay. आई थिंक हो गया था, बिकॉज जून 2017 के क्वेश्चन में देखता हूँ, बट जून 2017 क्वेश्चन नंबर this question I have told you na, water vapor absorbs infrared radiation centered near. I have discussed that na. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this means June 2017 was done. Tell me the answer. Water vapor absorbs infrared radiation centered near. We have already discussed that.
6.3.
Exactly. Okay. So now December 2017. Okay. Question number 31. Which of the following molecules is the most buoyant in the atmosphere? Tell me. From these four options: carbon dioxide, H2O, nitrous oxide, and ozone. Very simple. Why? For your information, just see, all have three molecules. Okay, carbon dioxide have three molecules, H2O, nitrous oxide, and ozone. All have three molecules. Now think about their atomic weight. Answer is simple.
H2O.
Yes. Okay. Because hydrogen has one atomic number of hydrogen is 1. That's why H2 is the most buoyant in the atmosphere. Now, which of the following contributes most to the heat budget of Earth's surface? Okay, don't see these tick marks. I have not done that. Okay, first option: radioactive heat from rocks, internal heat of the Earth reaching the surface by conduction, volcanic eruption, solar solar radiation.
So radioactive heat.
Heat budget of Earth's surface. Anyone else?
Oh no, sorry.
Not internal heat. Okay, radioactive heat from
Solar
rocks.
radiation.
Excuse me. Please tell again. Hello.
Solar radiation.
Yes, the answer is solar radiation, because you all know. Just a minute. Because I have told you this. Because this solar radiation gives 100%, and among these 100%, 50% directly and direct and diffuse radiation absorbed by land and sea. So this causes most of the warming of the Earth's surface. That's why solar radiation will be the answer. Okay. So now, question number 63. The largest negative radiative forcing of climate during the last 2 centuries is due to surface albedo, aerosols, land use, stratospheric ozone. Tell me the answer. This kind of question I have already discussed in my previous lecture. Tell me. Hello. Anyone? क्या होना चाहिए वो तो बताइए. ये नेट एग्जाम नहीं है, नेगेटिव नहीं होगा इधर. हाँ क्या या
Aerosols?
Exactly. Why not surface albedo? Because I have told you that aerosol will be right answer. Okay. But I have told you that our ice has almost 75% of albedo, which is highest. But why it is not? Why not? It is not surface albedo. नेगेटिव रेडिएटिव फोर्सिंग का मतलब सबको पता है ना. नेगेटिव रेडिएटिव फोर्सिंग मतलब है ग्लोबल कूलिंग. ओके, now think surface albedo means it also includes ice sheet, but why it is not? The answer?
So it is mentioning here during the last 2 centuries.
Exactly. Okay, that will be the reason. That's why surface albedo will not be the answer. Okay, now question number 99. This is very good question. Considering the geographical area, the albedo will significantly increase due to the following change in land use or cover: from temperate forest to grassland, from tropical forest to savanna, from savanna to desert, from temperate forest to tropical forest. Read the question carefully. Okay, surface albedo increase कैसे होगा? Temperate forest, if we go from temperate forest to grassland, albedo increase होगा. Tropical forest to savanna में albedo increase होगा. Savanna to desert में, या temperate forest to tropical forest. For your information, temperate forest and difference between tropical forest and temperate forest, because tropical forest has large trees, temperate forest not that much, and in grassland much lesser vegetation, and in savanna almost vegetation is very less, and in desert we know no vegetation. Okay, that is the difference between temperate forest, tropical forest, savanna and desert. Now tell me what will be the answer. Another just for your information, I'll show you that. Wait. Yeah, for your reference, see that graph, see that table. It will be helpful, and the answer lies here. Okay. Just for information, fresh snow has 75 to 95% albedo. Clouds, then cloud thin, then first thick cloud, then thin cloud, then Venus, then ice, then sand, then earth and atmosphere, then Mars, grassy field, dry flower field, water, forest, moon. Okay, this is the chart. Now tell me what will be the answer.
Sir, A.
Temperate forest to grassland.
Why? Explain from this graph.
Because of forest cover, it will initially be low, and the grassland consists mainly of
10 to 13%, 10 to 30%. Yes, you are right. From temperate forest to grassland, it will increase. Exactly right.
Okay.
But significantly increase here. The question is, the albedo will significantly increase, not just increase. Now think about the other options. Here, from temperate forest to grassland, albedo will increase. Okay, but from rest of the three, the albedo increase is much higher. Tell me which one.
savanna to desert.
Exactly. Why?
Because of sand, desert has lots of sand, so
Lots of sand.
the value is much higher. The difference is much bigger.
That's the reason. Got my point, all of you? Why is the savanna to desert will be the answer, not temperate forest to grassland? Answer will be 99C. That's why net exam is tricky. You have to consider all of the options. Okay. Now, question number 3. This is also very good question. Which of the following is true with increasing cloud thickness from 50 meter to 10,000 meter? Okay. Absorption of solar radiation decreases more rapidly than reflection. Absorption of solar radiation increases much less rapidly compared to reflection. Transmission increases slowly. Reflection decreases rapidly. Think about the options, then tell me. क्लाउड थिकनेस इंक्रीज होने पर क्या होता है? एल्बेडो इंक्रीज होता है या डिक्रीज होता है? ये पहले सोचो.
इंक्रीज होता है.
ओके. इंक्रीज होता है मतलब ग्लोबल कूलिंग होगा. इज इट क्लियर? एल्बेडो अगर इंक्रीज हो गया तो ग्लोबल कूलिंग होगा. तो अब सोचो.
Absorption of solar radiation will decrease more rapidly than reflection.
Pardon, option A or B?
Option A.
Okay, why?
Because global cooling occurs.
Yeah, absorption, due to absorption of solar radiation decrease more rapidly than reflection, global cooling hoga. It's all right, but absorption of solar radiation how can decrease with the increasing thickness of the cloud? I've already told you cloud can absorb solar radiation and can radiate and also can radiate. Okay, so with increasing thickness of cloud, absorption of solar radiation तो decrease नहीं हो सकता. Am I right? Absorption of solar radiation decrease तो नहीं हो सकता because due to increasing thickness of the cloud, more solar radiation will absorb. So वो तो decrease नहीं हो सकता.
B then.
Yeah, B will be the answer because
both increases.
Exactly, but it is much less rapidly compared to reflection, and that's why global cooling will also occur. Both
Yes,
increasing,
sir.
but it is because due to less rapidly increase of solar absorption of solar radiation, it will also causes global cooling. That's why option B will be the right answer. All of you got my point? Why not answer A? Why answer B? आंसर ए में भी ग्लोबल कूलिंग होगा, डेफिनेटली होगा, बट सोलर रेडिएशन डिक्रीज नहीं कर सकता विथ इंक्रीजिंग थिकनेस ऑफ द क्लाउड. सोलर रेडिएशन को इंक्रीज ही करना होगा, बट इंक्रीज अगर लेस रैपिडली करे कंपेयर टू रिफ्लेक्शन, देन आल्सो ग्लोबल कूलिंग ऑकर. ओके, सो दैट्स व्हाई 133 का आंसर होगा बी. ओके, नाउ जून 2018. No. Okay, question number Now tell me, in which set of the following atmospheric layer temperature increases with altitude?
Stratosphere and thermosphere.
Stratosphere and thermosphere.
Answer will be stratosphere and thermosphere. I don't know why he has marked all that. Okay. Now, ozone depletion, question number 53. Ozone depletion in stratosphere causes 1. Increase in greenhouse effect, cooling of Earth atmosphere system, increase of infrared radiation in the troposphere, increase of UV radiation in the troposphere. Tell me the answer. This is very good question.
D,
Excellent. Why?
because it ozone mainly reflects away the UV rays. That's why if ozone gets depleted, then
Okay.
it will penetrate the ozone layer and reach the troposphere.
Exactly. That's why increase of UV due to depletion of ozone, more UV rays will come to our Earth surface. देखो उसके बाद ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट होगा, इंक्रीज इन ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट ऑब्वियसली होगा बिकॉज ड्यू टू मोर यूवी रेज आर कमिंग एंड अर्थ विल radiate more infrared radiation, then greenhouse then CO2 and H2 trap those greenhouse gases and global warming hoga, greenhouse effect तो होगा. But this is the thing, increase of UV ozone depletion will cause increase of UV rays will reach, more of the UV rays will reach to our Earth's surface. This option will not be correct. This option is the consequence of the option D. Okay, that's why option D will be the right.
Sir,
Now,
are these MSQ?
no, all MCQ
Okay.
in net exam.
Okay, sir.
Question number 63. The least abundant gas in Earth's atmosphere is very easy.
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah, right answer. Now, June 2019. In 2019, 38. Lambda mass of radiation emitted by a black body at 4000 Kelvin in vacuum is, do the math. Lambda mass का formula लोगों को मैंने बताया था. Tell me, lambda mass equal to 2897 micrometer Kelvin by T in Kelvin. Okay, so temperature is also already given 4000.
0.72, sir.
Yeah, just for your information, I am telling you that as it is, देखो, lambda max equal to 2897 by T. For in this case, as no calculator is provided in net, just for round up it at 3000. Okay, and 3000 by 4000, the answer will be 0.7. That's why in these kind of cases 2897 को round up 3000 में कर लेना. Okay, and if your options are very close, then तो करना ही पड़ेगा. In this case it will be fine. Okay, now question number 44. Atmospheric layers where convection takes place are, in I'm just telling you which region are promoting convection.
The troposphere and mesosphere.
Exactly. Why? How you can say why it is promoting convection?
Sir, because in both the layers temperature are decreasing with height.
Exactly. Okay, that's why. You can see in troposphere and mesosphere region temperature decreases with increasing height, and that's why I have told you that due to convective heat loss it is happening. So these two regions are promoting convection. Okay. Now, December 2019. December 2019. Question number 10. Ozone in stratosphere protects us from UV radiation by reflecting it back to the space.
1.
Reflecting.
Anyone else?
Sir, maybe absorb. Second.
Anyone else?
Sir, absorbing.
Yes, the absorbing is the right answer. Ozone in stratosphere don't reflect it back to the space. I have already told you that वो reflect नहीं करता है, scatter करता है. Told you that वो scatter करता है, but mainly due to absorption and decompression. This will be the right answer. Due to absorption of ozone. Just a minute. Lot of tabs here. Just a minute. Yeah. Due to absorbing of UV rays, ozone is protecting us from due to absorption of UV rays, ozone is protecting us from incoming solar radiation. वो absorb करता है and then radiate back to the space. Okay, not reflect. It doesn't deflect. I have told you that all the gases absorb a particular wavelength. I told you that, na? In this lecture, I told you that according to Kirchhoff's law, good absorbers are good emitters at a particular wavelength, and poor absorbers are poor emitters at the same wavelength. What ozone causes? Ozone is, from this graph you can see, oxygen and ozone, it causes absorption. It causes the absorption rate is higher. Okay, this is the percentage of total absorption and scattering. वो absorb करता है UV rays region में oxygen and then scatter कर देता है. Okay, that's why by absorption of UV rays, our stratospheric ozone protect us from incoming solar radiation, not reflecting. Okay, this is very good question. Now,
Sir, why not the fourth option then? Scattering it back to the space?
absorption must be the answer. Absorption and scattering. If the answer is absorption and scattering, then it will be right.
Means the process which takes place first.
Yeah, absorption. Just see total absorption and scattering. First absorption takes place, then scatter. Okay. So it must be absorption first. Okay. Now see question number. Yeah, you see. The coldest part of Earth's atmosphere is, tell me.
Mesopause.
Yeah. This is pause. Question number. Yeah, this is very good question. The microwave region of the electromagnetic spectrum is mostly absorbed by which of the following components of the atmosphere? I haven't discussed that for just a minute. Okay, I haven't discussed that in my previous class. Now see, this is the region of UV rays. This is visible spectrum. This is infrared region, and after that, more long wavelength will be microwave region. Okay. Now see here, water vapor can absorb mostly the total long wave radiation, mainly infrared and microwave. If the graph is extended here, you can see it will be like that. Water vapor is the main component for absorbing long wave radiation, which falls under infrared and microwave region. Okay, and oxygen and ozone mainly absorb the radiation of UV rays. You can see this is the absorption rate, and UV rays are absorbed by oxygen and ozone. Carbon dioxide can also absorb long wave infrared radiation, but the amount is much smaller, and this is methane and nitrous oxide. The absorption rate is very small. Okay, now see, the microwave region of electromagnetic spectrum is mostly absorbed by which of the following components of the atmosphere? This question is little bit tricky. I don't know. The option is white, right? Like that. Carbon dioxide only, ozone only, O2 and H2O, oxygen and ozone and carbon dioxide. Tell me the answer.
Option 3.
It should be option 3.
Yeah, it should be option 3 due to presence of H2O, but O2 absorbs very minimal amount of UV rays. Okay, so I don't know why they compare. They are giving O2 and H2O in same option. I don't know that. It will
It
be
might
more
be a printing mistake.
maybe because the option should be CO2 and H2O. You got my point? Why? CO2 only नहीं होगा, O3 only नहीं होगा. This is in shortwave region. O3 and CO2 भी नहीं होगा. H2O is the main component. H2O होगा ही, ठीक है. इसलिए option 3 will be must be the answer. But why they are O2 are compared with H2? I don't know. Okay, it should be CO2 and H2. Now. Satellite observed outgoing long-wave radiation is lower over equatorial latitudes due to reduced emission from Earth's surface, absorption due to atmospheric gases, persistent cloudiness, high on insolation. The meaning of the question is our satellite, which are in mesosphere, mainly in mesosphere region, observed outgoing long wave radiation is lower over equatorial latitudes, that is at 0 degree lat. It is low due to reduced emission from the Earth's surface, absorption due to atmospheric gases, persistent cloudiness, high insolation.
Option 4.
High insolation, if high insolation means more incoming solar radiation. Okay, so due to high insolation, why we will get much less long wave radiation in equatorial lat. High insolation equatorial latitude में होता है, बोन में नहीं कह रहा हूँ नहीं होता है, but why low long wave radiation is observed?
Actually, option wise मैंने देखा.
ऑप्शन वाइज माने इन इक्वेटोरियल लैटिट्यूड हाई इंसुलेशन होगा, बट ये कैसे होगा? सैटेलाइट ऑब्जर्व लॉन्ग वेव रेडिएशन इज लोअर, एक ये कैसे होगा? Tell me. In tropical region in 0 degree lat, we all know there is maximum amount of rainfall. You all know that the weather is much more clouder, and in every day we got rainfall in the afternoon. Okay, so for that reason, due to persistent cloudiness in that region, in equatorial region, okay, वो क्लाउड क्या करता है? क्लाउड आउटगोइंग लॉन्ग वेव रेडिएशन को एब्जॉर्ब करके स्कैटर कर देता है, ठीक है. बट फॉर दैट रीजन, एज दिस लॉन्ग वेव रेडिएशन इज एब्जॉर्ब्ड बाय क्लाउड एंड scattered back to the earth and again scattered at the atmosphere, this long wave radiation observed long wave radiation will be lower in this region. Okay, you got my point? Why it will be lower? All of you.
Yes, sir.
Cloud long wave radiation को absorb करके scatter कर देता है, and for that reason, due to absorption of infrared rays due to persistent cloudiness. Yeah, tell me. Hello, hello, your voice is breaking. Hello, hello, your voice is breaking. Can you please write? Hello. Okay, someone was saying something. Okay.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sir, can you please repeat this one again?
देखो, satellite observed outgoing long wave radiation is lower over equatorial latitude. क्वेश्चन समझ में आ गया ना? वो पहले बताइए.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, due to persistent cloudiness in equatorial region, as we all know, due to heating of the seawater, we got more cloud at the in this region, and that's why more due to more cloud formation, this cloud क्या करता है? वो this cloud can absorb this infrared long wave radiation and scatter it back to the earth surface. That's why when the satellite कौन सा region में है? Just a minute. Satellite is, if in troposphere region our cloud is in troposphere region, and satellite is here. Okay, satellite is here in mesosphere region. Agar in earth surface, agar this long wave radiation is absorbed by cloud and scattered back to the earth surface, then outgoing radiation तो satellite तक पहुंचेंगे ही नहीं. ठीक है? That's why due to persistence of cloudiness, we got long wave radiation, observed long wave radiation is much lower. All of you got my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Now question number 75. The radiation emitted by the sea surface in the atmospheric window region may experience alteration and resulting atmospheric transmission. Doesn't depend on particle distribution of water vapor, particle distribution of oxygen, total water vapor content, presence of cloud. Again, I'm telling, radiation emitted by the sea surface in the atmospheric window region may experience some alteration. Okay, मतलब क्या है? Atmospheric window region is 8 to atmospheric window region है atmospheric window region है AW is 8 to 11 micrometer. This is the region of infrared. Okay, all of you know that I have told you. And this region, atmospheric window region, may experience alteration and resulting atmospheric transmission. That means atmospheric transmission, that is outgoing long wave radiation, is not, doesn't depend on vertical distribution of water vapor, vertical distribution of oxygen, total water vapor content, presence of cloud. Tell me the answer. Water vapor, total amount of water vapor, vertical distribution of water vapor, vertical distribution of oxygen, and presence of cloud. इनमें से कौन doesn't, मतलब कोई change नहीं करता है this radiation emitted by the sea surface in atmospheric window region? क्वेश्चन समझ में आ गया?
Vertical distribution of oxygen.
Oxygen.
Yeah. Why?
So because all the others have actually absorbed the infrared spectrum much more than the oxygen.
Exactly. Okay, that's why option 2 will be the right answer. Okay, now June 2020, recent year, 2020 का क्या था question था? question number 31. Now see, the concentration of trace gases by volume in the lower troposphere in decreasing order is nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, methane, nitric oxide, methane, nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, carbon dioxide, nitric oxide, methane, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, then carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide. Tell me the answer.
So will it be number 4?
Exactly. Option 4 will be the right answer. Why this is? Because see, you can see carbon dioxide, then methane. Okay, carbon dioxide, then methane, then nitrous oxide. That's why. Because, and for that reason, you have to remember all these. Okay, don't just first 3 or first 4. You have to remember all these. Okay. No, see. Okay, so option 4 will be the right answer. Now, question number.
So you will be providing these materials, right?
I am providing these questions.
No, the
So
PDFs.
actually the notes also, the PDF.
Yeah, I am providing you all of the. I have also already provided the PDF of basics of atmosphere, right? In your in our application, it is not provided this lecture.
Sir, lecture is there, but not previous year question paper.
I should provide previous year question papers.
No,
Because
sir.
No.
okay, because here I have just what I have done that I just pick the questions from atmospheric science and oceanography. Okay, and just make a PPT. Should I provide also that?
No, sir.
Okay, because all these questions you can buy the books from Shulendra Kumar. Okay, books from Shulendra. I have I also buy that book. You can buy Joint CSIR ETC NET Earth, Atmospheric, Ocean and Planetary Science by Shulendra Kumar. Okay, you will get that in Amazon and Flipkart. Just buy that book. This book is very good because all the answer keys here is almost right. That's why this book is very good. You should buy that. Okay. Now.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And if you follow my YouTube video, I will provide you the link. You will get all the necessary information, other necessary information on that. Why you should follow this particular book of CSIR NET by Shulendra Kumar. I have told that everything. Okay. Now see, in the ICAO standard atmosphere, the lapse rate in the 11 to 20 kilometer layer is. Okay, it's very good question. ISA means nothing. It is just a standard. Okay, just think about 11 to 20 kilometer layer. Lapse rate is what? 6.5, 9.8, minus 0.0010.
I think it's 0, sir. It's the tropopause right there.
Exactly. That's you are absolutely right. You see, I got that wrong in CSIR NET. In this net, I have marked minus 0.001. Because of that, 11 to 20 kilometer, because I have told you that the tropopause region is 12 kilometer, right? The top of the troposphere is 12 kilometer. So I was thinking at that time that 11 to 20 kilometer का मतलब वो लोग पूछ रहा है tropopause plus first some sum of stratosphere region. That means I was thinking that tropopause and sum of stratopause region. They are वो पूछ रहा है 11 to 20 kilometer. That's why. So that's why negative or zero, close to negative and zero ही होगा, because here you can see the left set will be here negative, and at that region it is zero. So I was very puzzled and marked that minus 0.001. But in according to ICO standard atmosphere, 11 to 20 kilometer is the tropopause region. Okay, that's why the answer is zero. Okay, all of you got my point? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so no questions are there from these topics. I will discuss more when I cover more topic. Okay, so any question? Any question? No question? If you have any doubt, ask me. No question. Okay, so then I'm closing the presentation. Okay, good night everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.